Louise Cooper joins us. Louise is a market commentator at BGC Partners. Louise, great to have you on the show. Right, deal or no deal, the million-dollar question.
Who knows? What I find very interesting is that everybody that I hear from America just goes, oh, a deal will happen. You know, complacency. A deal will happen, no surprise. Yeah, well, you know, it'll be kicked down the road a bit. The can will be kicked down the road. But eventually they will come to a deal before the August 2nd deadline. But what happens if they don't? That's what concerns me. I just, you know, everybody I hear says, oh, a deal will happen. Well, we thought the Gang of Six deal that was at the end of last week was going to be the deal. Well, it's fallen apart over the weekend again. Who knows?
I know, and Louise, you know, I was just going to ask, it's really unthinkable almost that they don't reach a deal, but what happens when we wake up on August the 3rd if they haven't reached an agreement? Huge sell-off? Are we going to see a big flight to quality again, or is it just going to be a sell-off for everything?
Well, I mean, I think the trading's going to be incredibly volatile, incredibly, you're going to see wild swings, a lot of investor nervousness. But I just want to put a point to you in all of this. Shouldn't Americans be so glad that the Chinese are such massive buyers of their government debt, of US treasurers? Because here in Europe, we look at these governments in the Eurozone who are highly indebted and yet can't find anybody to buy their debt. That's essentially the problem. That's why they have to go to various institutions to demand bailouts. Well, thanks to the Chinese being massive buyers of US treasuries, the US really isn't in that position. So my question to you is, if we see a Chinese buyers strike, that would leave the US into all kinds of difficulties. Now, everybody's saying that's never going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. But we are in wild, uncharted territory here. It's just a point to think about, because at the moment, everyone just assumes that US treasuries, it costs virtually nothing for America to service its debt. Well, maybe that won't be the case in the future.
Yeah, and Louise, you're absolutely right. In fact, we're just hearing from the Secretary of State giving almost a direct message to China saying, guys, stick with us because we will get through it. Again, if they don't get through it, what happens to the world economy? What does America losing its AAA credit rating actually mean for us here in Europe?
Well, to be fair, it's not like economies in Europe or the States are in a strong position to start with. I mean, the last unemployment, the non-farm payrolls unemployment report out of the States was really appalling. 9.2% unemployment. I don't think Americans are feeling particularly confident about their state of economy. If they start not actually being paid by the state for their work, what's that going to do to them? I don't think that has really been thought through by policymakers either. Is that the US economy isn't terribly strong. What kind of message does this send to Americans if they start not being paid by the state?
Yeah, Louise, in 5 seconds, are your traders nervous over there?
Everybody's nervous, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Everybody's nervous. The fear is back on.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Louise. Everyone is nervous. Louise Cooper there from BGC.